Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we talk with business leaders from all over the world who share their insights and expertise so we can all grow together. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here with us, especially with me and my guest today. We've been chatting behind the scenes, having a little fun. It's Friday when we're actually recording this. I don't know when this is going to drop, but we're recording it on a Friday. So no matter what day you're listening to this, happy Friday. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk, and the co-founder of the Spotlight to Scale Accelerator. We are your #1 strategic visibility partner, and we help businesses scale their revenue through our out-of-the-box visibility and marketing strategies. So if you're new and you haven't been here, please stick around to the end. Make sure you listen. I have a phenomenal guest here with me today, and you're going to get a free gift for being with us. So without further ado, welcome to my incredible guest, Mark Casper with Tech for Troops. Welcome, Mark, to the podcast.
Heidi, thank you so much for having me. I'm really humbled and looking forward to this today.
I'm excited about it. We've been having some fun and joking around behind the scenes. So for you listening, it's going to be a fun one.
Try to, right?
So Mark, can you share with us a little bit about yourself and your company and your role that within it?
Absolutely. So Mark Casper, President and CEO of Tech for Troops, Marine Corps, veteran. I'm not former. I'm always going to be a Marine. There's former Army, former Navy, those guys. That's okay for them. But for me, I will always be an active Marine. I served from 83 to 87, got married to my wife, my soulmate, close to 40 years now.
Wow.
We've been married since 85, and we have 2 daughters, 3 granddaughters, and an incredible son-in-law who, just makes the family great.
Yeah.
So with that, I did my work, my yeoman's work when I started in school after I get out of the Marine Corps. Thought I had the tiger by the tail, by the way, and I didn't, because I was just a Marine. I wasn't anybody special. And so went through school, went to VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, got a marketing degree in 1987. Thought I was going to take the corporate world by storm again. And guess what? It doesn't work that way So I did all the corporate dance, is what I call it. And then in 10 years ago, last year, going into 11 years now, December of 15, I was asked to be the executive director of Tech for Troops and said yes. And so I took a decent paying job and went down to an executive director of nonprofit. And we had 750 square feet when I started. And today, 10 years later, we're at 8,000 plus square feet. And we're looking to buy or lease another building that's going to have 25 to 30,000 square feet. So growth has been trajectorying like straight up for the last 10 years.
Wow. Well, we're going to talk about growth for sure during this podcast. It's hence the name. So I want to go there, but I'd love to talk more about what you all do and who you serve and how you help them. So let's talk about challenges. What are some of the challenges that veterans face when it comes to your Tech for Troops, all about technical? And I know I was in the coaching space before we launched our new business. And that was one of the biggest things that I found with female entrepreneurs was they were tech challenged. It was a big gap that we decided we were going to fill. So what are some of those biggest challenges that veterans are facing when it comes to digital access and tech literacy?
So there's a lot. And if you bring it down to the basic level, which is where I want to take it, is you got somebody getting out of the military. Not everybody gets a computer in the military. They don't learn how to use it. They may have grown up without a computer, even in today's age. I mean, we saw when the pandemic hit, kids went home, didn't have computers. So what did they do? Scramble, give them a computer. Well, just because they get out of high school and join the military, they don't get to keep that computer. So they don't know how to use it. They lose some of that skill. And when you're a grunt in the Marine Corps, right? So you're on the front lines, or you're flying a helicopter, you're a crew chief or something, you may not have a computer. So when you come home at night, when you go back to the barracks, you may get on your phone, you may play a video game. That's really about it. So when you get out of the military, you may not have a resume. You might even own a suit. So there are things that you might not have when you get out, and we provide that for them, not the suit, but the training and the technology, so they can apply for jobs, create resumes, go to school, telehealth, VA appointments, or friends and family, whatever that is. So they have that opportunity to stay in touch and be successful in life. And when I say we provide, hold on, sorry, Heidi, I didn't mean that.
Go.
So here in Richmond and throughout the state of Virginia, we do classes in multiple locations. So everywhere from DC to the Virginia Beach area to Richmond to Charlottesville to Winchester, all throughout. And when those veterans come into class, they get the computer for free, plus
Mm,
5,000 free classes to take online.
amazing. So how does creating or providing technology and training to veterans create long-term impact for them and their families?
Easy. I have the perfect answer. I have two, actually. One, a couple of years ago, I was in class here in my training facility, right? Everybody sees my training facility, right? No. Um, and I was teaching class and I had the doorbell ring about 15 minutes after class started. And me being me, I met that veteran in the hallway walking in. I'm like, what are you doing? Said it differently, but I said, what are you doing? And he's like, lifted up a computer, had a Tech for Troops sticker on, and said, I'm here to give back. I said, hold your story, come on in. And he literally stood in front of my class and said, Vietnam combat medic, I got this computer. I was able to change my life.
Wow.
I'm now giving it back to my fellow brothers and sisters.
Uh,
And now I'm talking tears were coming down my eyes. It was amazing. And then just earlier this week, I had another veteran come in, a Marine brother, came in, and he was in school, college. He didn't have a computer, so he got one from us. He finished school. He owns three restaurants now. Is extremely successful in his life.
that's
So without a computer, you're not moving forward in life in today's world.
in today's world. Yeah.
In today's world. So, I
Yeah.
mean, those are just two small stories of what we do and the impact we have. And that happens around the world, right? We've shipped computers overseas, but predominantly it's in the United States, right? Continental United States, Hawaii and Alaska as well. But yeah, we have a tremendous impact across the country in the military community because we support active duty as well.
Wow. Those, you said they're small, just small examples, but they sound like such huge wins.
They were, and
Yeah.
honestly,
I love
the
that.
Vietnam vet, I was tearing, I was going right because I'm like, guys, this is what it means to get a computer from us. I mean, he's looking at me like I was an idiot, but yeah, sometimes it hits and the soul goes, ah. So I mean, it's fun and it's an amazing, and there's nothing better when you know that you help somebody and they lifted themselves out of where he was, which is alcohol. I think it was either drugs or alcohol addiction, one of those two, but he wasn't doing well and he was able to lift
Mhm.
himself out of that. Oh man, how great is that?
That's awesome. And just knowing the impact that you're creating and hearing those stories, it keeps the mission going, keeps the
Yeah,
purpose going, yeah, and keeps the
yeah,
passion alive. I
yeah.
love that. How does Tech for Troops help bridge the digital divide, especially for veterans transitioning into civilian careers?
I'm going to hit it two ways.
Okay.
One is the veterans who are transitioning out. So we're about to start a new training program. Not ready for prime time yet, but it'll be data center training, and we're working towards making sure that veterans who get out who want to work in IT have the opportunity to come to us and learn. So we hire vets. My goal for the majority of my vets that I hire is to not keep them. I don't want a forever employee when it comes to those guys or gals because we hire both. But they get out and they get a better job. And what better way of spreading what we do than somebody who came to us, spent 3 months, 6 months, a year with us, and then got a job paying 4 or 5 times more than what I could pay. How great is that? So we help bridge that digital divide in that way because we're able to provide them with the training and the technology, the 5,000 free classes. They get the hands-on experience, customer experience, and we have at times, depending upon who they are, pay for their schooling to attend school, right? So we'll do things for vets because it's the right thing to do. And that's how I look at just about all decisions I make. Is it the right thing to do? Is it common sense, but right thing? And then the other part of that is we support the active duty and their children, right? So that digital divide we talk about, it's not just in the veteran community, it's in the active duty community. Quick story, last year before, Coast Guard, New York City, and they're on food stamps. And there are active duty members all over the country on food stamps because you're lower enlisted or you're a new lieutenant, you have 2 kids, 3 kids, and you can't afford to buy a computer. So what are you going to do? So last year I was down at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, in Columbia, South Carolina, and I was given 10 computers away to start the relationship with these. And it was all for the kids. And there were like 9, and then there was the one, and it was the one that I will never forget. So handing them out, and most of the guys are being guys, free computer, right? Just going crazy. But this one woman stood there and she literally held the computer in her hand, staring at it, almost crying. She wasn't crying, but almost crying. And I noticed her and I put my hand on her shoulder and I said, this is what we do. You need help, you contact us because we're here for you and your children or child. And she didn't say a word. She just stared at it like, I can't believe I have a computer now. That makes the heart and the soul feel good. Right. So I know that digital divide is being bridged in the children's community in the military and the veterans community, active duty. And golly, man, it makes you feel good. It just does.
I'm so glad that we're having this conversation because honestly, not only me, but I know a lot of people listening are probably like, you take having a computer for granted. You
I
know, you
do.
have a phone, take
Yep.
that for granted.
Yep.
Having a computer for granted. I know, and my kids have it, like you said, in school. So if we didn't have computers when they were like literally the pandemic hit. So the school provided computers
Yep.
for them. But again, it's taken away, right?
Yeah.
Once they're out of school, it's taken away, and not everybody can. And who knows what's happening now? The prices are going up with everything. It's not
Right.
easy to get access to that right
Right.
now in today's day and age. But I think for many people, I'm so glad that you're here sharing this awareness, and
Yep.
we're able to support you in spreading it because I think people need to know like this isn't something that a lot of people have. Like some of us take it for granted that.
A lot of grant, right? So I
Yeah,
mean, it's the inner cities and it's the rural, the suburbs. It's a problem there, but not as big a problem. And I'm generalizing. Just please, if anybody out there
right,
like gets mad at me for saying this, it's not meant that way. It's we know where the issues are, and
right.
we are the inner city gets a lot. We all know that. The rural areas don't. So we're working to push ourselves into the rural areas because honestly, for us, especially in the military, race, creed, color doesn't matter. I don't care what you are. You come to me and I will try my best to help you out. Everything that I have. We get in, and I would ask your audience, give us your stuff and we'll get into all of that later. But we want to help out the community in ways that folks aren't thinking about.
Right.
The suicide prevention, right? The recycle reuse, the American Legion VFWs, DAVs, and other locations where they're struggling because they're in rural areas and they don't have the money to buy flat screen TVs and gaming rigs to for bring the kids in. We're trying hard to make a difference in the world.
Yeah. Well, I love what you're doing. What strategies have helped you scale, like the scaling of tech for troops, impact and reach across different regions?
Wow,
Just
great question. I would say that there's a couple of things. One, I always listen to people, right?
mm,
You have the ones who come in and say, I love what you do. And when they walk out the door, as a nonprofit, it happens all the time. Walk out the door and they never contact you again. But there are those, I just had one in my office this morning. He comes in and he has ideas, but what he wants is he wants to follow through. So I use those, I call them mentors for myself, right? Because I'm just a guy, right? But these folks who come in and help us and they want to take us to that next level, know who to talk to, how to talk to, what is it you need to put together to tell them what you're doing. And that's really how we got to scale. It's having the opportunity, having the mentorship, having the board. My board is really good to be able to take us to that place. And then people believing in us.
yeah.
That's really another part of it when you're a nonprofit. If somebody believes in your mission, then you're going to get that kind of support.
Yeah. So let's talk about well, partnerships. What kinds of partnerships have been most effective for helping you grow the organization from tech companies to
Yep.
veteran networks?
Yep. So easiest is AUSA, Association United States Army.
Hmm.
Phenomenal partnership from the general who runs it, General Brown, down to the local chapter. All these folks are just vested, not vested and invested in us. But then we also have the corporations who support us from Acer computers to AMD to AWS and Altria. And I mean, large corporations and small corporations. And the partnerships, we realize that not everybody has a computer to give away corporate wise every day. And that's okay because they know we're here. They know what we do with the guaranteed data destruction. Heidi, if you were to say, Mark, I have a computer I want to send to you, what's going to happen to my data? Well, we have a program, data destruction. We are HIPAA NIST and DOD certified in our wiping. And normally, if it's a platter drive, it spins. We're going to shred it. We have a hard drive shredder, so it turns it into dust or tiny pieces. So that's all we do, right? And you get a certificate of instruction for that. So you know that the data on your hard drive is gone. So that's how corporations partner with us. And then we have the sports angle. Richmond Flying Squirrels, a local baseball team, minor league baseball team, and the Kickers, the minor league soccer team. We are very, very strong in there, and we have seats in both stadiums, and we invite veterans in to do, like on the Squirrels, the baseball, the first pitch. They have a parking spot for them, not for everybody else, but they have their own sign, right? And then they get food and they get their name on the jumbotron. So if they're there with their family, imagine a 7-year-old boy or girl seeing dad or mom's name up on the screen, right? And being talked out. Hey, Heidi Schalk is very important veteran today. Guess what? Man, you are Superman at that point.
To your kids, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, to your kids. And that is a big, big deal. Yeah. So we try to do different partnerships and think outside the box because we're just one of many, but we want to be the top of them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So how are you keeping, let's talk tech. How are you keeping up? Because it's always evolving, right? It's always growing, and you're in the tech space. So how are you keeping up with the rapidly changing tech landscape to ensure that your training programs stay relevant and useful?
Great question. So we just partnered with GoWest.ai. His name is Wes McDonald, and he actually teaches our veterans about AI and how to use it. So we are trying to stay ahead of that curve because we see AI coming, but how do you use it? How do you use it the right way, right? There are things you can do that are bad for you. And then there are things that you're better at. And that's what we're trying to do is say, hey guys, don't be afraid of it. Use it to your benefit, not to somebody else's benefit. So that's how we stay ahead of that tech. And then we're always asking for or looking for newer types of computers. We get a lot of old stuff in. We have a museum. My oldest piece in the museum is from 1926. It's a recording device. And then some of the newer stuff is like a walk. So kids today have not seen the majority of things we have. So we get stuff in and we keep it for the museum, but we also are looking for newer laptops and desktops to use and to provide to organizations, other nonprofits, and corporations if they want to get from us, but usually they don't want to buy a reused or repurposed computer. But nonprofits, other ones out there, will get them from us because we're cheaper and we guarantee our work.
Okay. Awesome. Are there any new technologies or innovations that you're excited about integrating into your programs?
Oh my goodness, great question. You're hitting it on the ballpark, aren't you?
I try. I do research.
You are trying, yeah. So, I mean, the AI angle is the fantasticest, right? Fantasticest. I made a word today. It's Friday.
I like that word. I'm stealing it. I'm running.
Steal it for me, and if it goes viral, just give me creds, right?
I'll give you credit. Absolutely.
All right. But the other thing that we're doing is we're using gaming and the platforms of gaming, Discord and Twitch. So if everybody knows what they are. Discord is like a old school bulletin board, chat box chats. And Twitch is like Netflix for video games. So if you know what those are, we are on there saving veterans' lives, right? So that's through our veteran suicide prevention called Game Core, aiming for zero. Zero is the only number. But we're doing that, and we're using those platforms to reach into those communities. And then we're also going to be using our Game Core to reach into mental health institutions. So the veterans who are laying in a bed, right, they're suicidal, they have issues, that they have something to do. We're going to put gaming rigs in these mental health institutions, gaming rigs there, so we can continuity of care is what we're calling. So they're in there for 6 months. They're getting out. It's a handshake, good luck. But when they get out, they can contact us, stay in contact with us to better their lives because we'll have somebody to talk to yell at, to cry with, or whatever it is that we need to do to help them with. So we're using technology in that way. And since Twitch and Discord are newer, we're trying to get ahead of the curve with anything that comes in that's making that faster, better, stronger, so we can reach those veterans in a more meaningful way.
So good. So I would like to pivot to growth a little bit and talk about the growth of the organization. So what are some ways tell me first, what have been your biggest challenges that you faced in growing and getting the word out there? And how did you overcome them?
Oh man, I'll be honest with you. We haven't overcome them yet. I
Okay.
mean, we've come to a point where we still run into a lot of people. And I'm in Richmond, Virginia. We run into a lot of people who've never heard of us. So
Mhm.
marketing is our Achilles heel, right? We do a relatively good job of it, and we're getting better and better at it. But after 10 years, we're still not where I think we should be, where I want to be. I'll say it that way, where I want to be. Doesn't mean I'm right, just means I'm where I'm at. So that is our hardest part there, and then raising funds. Most nonprofits will tell you the same thing, right? Finding the money to keep your programs going, to make it happen, to do your mission is the hardest thing in the world. So we have multiple ways of funding ourselves. And that's really the best way to make growth happen. As you know, money makes growth. So we're trying to get the grant writing going again.
Mhm.
Grant writing is really hard. We're trying to create those relationships with corporations and individuals. So folks with deep pockets, right? Jeff Bezos type, right? Get those deep pockets. They're never going to look at us. And I know that, but the
That's
foundation
not
might,
true. We're going to make that happen. We're going to
let's
send
make it
this to him.
happen. I love it. I love it. If you know, say, hey, Jeff, look at here. We could use you.
Hey,
We could use your
Jeff.
help.
Come on, Jeff. They
Come
need
on,
you.
Jeff. Elon, Jeff, Warren Buffett. Come on, man. Right. But you're looking to create relationship with folks who are saying, yeah, I love what you do. Here's what I want to do for you. And that is the hardest thing in the world because I'm not in that world, right? I'm not in the 100 millionaires or the billionaires or even the millionaire world. I'm in my world. And we struggle with that.
Yeah.
So the growth piece, as hard as it is, it's worth it. You've heard a couple of the stories, excuse me, and it makes it worthwhile when your soul and your heart's just like, yeah, you know. And
Yeah.
so yeah, we're gonna make it. We're gonna grow. I want to grow across the United States. I want to open up in Tampa and along San Antonio, where military bases are. So the folks get out. They usually stay in the area. If they stay in the area, I want to be there to support.
Amazing. Um, Mark, I love everything that you shared, and I understand it personally because I worked for a nonprofit, and so for you listening, nonprofits need funding.
Yeah.
It's really important for them in order for them to make the impact that they're making, or they want to make and go to a bigger scale to help more people, just like Mark and the organization is wanting to do. That's their goal. They need funds. So Mark, you said breaking into the grant fund, you're wanting to get back into the grant writing. When I was I was an executive director,
Oh,
also
you
for a
know.
nonprofit, for Crime Stoppers of Palm Beach County, near and dear to my
Mhm.
heart. I love them. Always. I was been with them for a long time as a board member and then as executive director. And so I know the challenges when it comes to grants and funding and all the rules involved. Right now, are you strictly reliant on funds raised, donations coming in?
We are.
Okay,
Yeah, right.
that's good to
So,
know.
well, and not strict, right? So we do get a lot of stuff in, right? I got a 1926 dictaphone in, one of the first recording devices, right? The way the recorder was on a wax tube, right? That's not going to be sold. Um, Offer me $1 million, I'll sell it to you. But other than that, I'm not going to sell it to you, right?
You
But
never
we
know.
do,
Somebody can hear
we,
that and go like, "I'm gonna give it a million. I want that thing." You might
oh,
get $1 million.
Merry Christmas to us then, right? But we get into things that I can't give to a vet, right? Everything
Right.
from servers and routers and switches and stereos. We get a lot of stereos and really good component level stereos, turntables, audio cabinets. We get in a lot of stuff. So we put that on eBay or sell it out, right? Because
Okay.
that does help fund us as well. So we do have revenue streams like that. But the veterans get the good computers. Everything else will get either recycled or reused, resold.
Okay. To raise funds to get them newer
Correct.
computers. Got it.
Exactly. And
Perfect.
if I may, 2023, we haven't done our 2024 990, our tax document yet. Our 2023, our overhead was 14%.
Wow. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all that. So question for you. How are you right now? You said you're local and you're expanding, right?
Mhm.
How are you getting it? How are you getting the word out? What marketing methods are you using? Visibility strategies are you using right now that are working for you? Have you tried any that haven't worked for you? Can you give us a scoop on that?
So Facebook is in my opinion, I don't Facebook much. Facebook's not the way to go, folks. Yes, it's a lot of clutter, right? And don't get me wrong, we use Facebook all the time, but but I don't think that's the way to go. In my opinion, it's LinkedIn. If you're a business and you're a nonprofit, you should be LinkedIn and letting people know what your mission is. So would I do anything for $1? No. But would I do anything for $10? Sure. You might not want to see me run naked down the street for $10, but no, I won't do that. But you know what I mean? We do as much as we can. We get on radio and TV as much as we can. We're in all the social medias except for TikTok and whatever Trump says. I don't even know the name of it.
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah.
Truth Social, Truth, whatever. We're in all of them. We're in Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and I don't know, whatever. We do all of that as well. So, I mean, that's the way we get our word out. We don't truly market ourselves. It's all word of mouth or through social media. And we've grown, like I said, from 750 square feet to 8,000 square feet. And we're looking for a larger building now. And Facebook was hard because I thought it was going to be the thing back 10 years ago. And it wasn't. It literally came from LinkedIn for us.
Mm. Are you looking to, I know and I asked this because of my experience with Crime Stoppers. So Crime Stoppers started in like Albuquerque, I think it was Albuquerque or somewhere in New Mexico. And then it branched out and now each like county, there's counties throughout the country that have, and there's also outside of the country that have Crime Stoppers programs. Are you looking, is that what the goal is? Or are you looking to just kind of like have hubs in different areas?
Hubs in different areas, right?
Okay.
So there are different models. You could go with like the YMCA model where it's a franchise, but it's a very tightly controlled franchise. At this moment, I want to do HQ control. We work with them, the executive director that will be down there, wherever there is, to do the right thing and don't make the mistakes that I made, right? I want to give that to them, that opportunity to be successful, but they're going to be under our control, right? So yeah, we want to have hubs and large hubs. So Tampa, San Antonio has 5 military bases. Wow. We should be there.
Yeah. So share with me, can you walk me through what are your goals for 2025 with Tech for Change?
First is a building.
Okay.
I've looked at a lot. We're talking to some folks about one building, but I'm still looking at others because you never know what's going to happen. So we have to have more space. We were just told a couple days ago, we're going to get 2 tractor trailers in and we won't have room to move. Literally, we'll have no space left. So we've got to get a building for 2025. The second goal, I should say, is to start the conversation somewhere to open up. So if you're in San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Tampa, Raleigh, wherever that is, and you're like, hey, I love what you do. I want to bring you here. That's that conversation. So that's been a goal for 10 years. But I think now we're ready for it. 10 years ago, if I had tried to do it, it would have been a major failure. And I know that. 5 years ago, it would have been a major failure. And I know that. So today, we have the processes in place to be able to expand into other locations and make it successful. Those are my 2 main goals.
I love those goals. Great goals. So what can you share with me if we were to be able to bring you back in a year? Well, let's go back to your big goals. With the 2 big goals that you have, what do you foresee? What challenges could hold you back from achieving those this year?
Yeah, for a building, it's going to be funding. We have to start a capital campaign. I think it'll be successful. I do. I know that there's a lot of support out there for us. We just have to ask for it and ask for it in the right way. When it comes to expansion, I think what's going to happen there is one of your listeners is going to say, I want to do this, but I want you to come to, don't take it wrong, but like Niskayuna, New York, right? Little tiny town outside of Albany. Yeah, I can't go there. I can go to Albany, but I can't go to Niskayuna. So those conversations that happen, the research to be done, how many vets are in the area, the local major corporations, smaller corporations, what is the patriotism in the area? Because you may have a lot of folks, but if you're not supporting the veteran community right now, why would you start supporting us then? Right. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of research done. I think that is going to be the key, is finding that place, that military area with a base that says, we want you and here's how we're going to make it happen. Get the counties involved, get the state involved.
Yeah. So if we could bring you back in a year, Mark, and talk again, and thank you. pretty new podcast. So thank you for being a guest and coming on here and
Absolutely.
jumping in this journey with us. We appreciate you and so excited to promote your mission
Thank
and
you.
your
Thank
cause.
you.
I love what you're doing. And so, what would success look like for you in a year?
Oh my goodness. So last year we gave away almost 1,300 computers, 1,200 and change. I want to be somewhere close to 2,000 this year. We recycled or reused over or almost 800,000 pounds. Being
Wow.
at 1 million would be phenomenal. I think we'll get there this year because we're really knocking it out of the park with that. But the suicide prevention is the most near and dear to my heart. One of my Marine Corps brothers committed suicide 2 years ago,
I'm so
and
sorry.
it hurts, right? But getting it, our tagline is aiming for zero because zero is the only number. And folks out there listening, if you don't know, somewhere between 17 and 40 a day commit suicide. So it's a pandemic almost. And the reason why it's such a spread, so on a good day in the world, 17 people, 17 veterans were men and women, both. But on a bad day or towards Christmas usually,
Wow.
depression desperately sets in and the numbers skyrocket. So there's this huge number. And if we can get that down to, in my mind, if we can protect the troops can get that down to say 10 and then lower every year after that because we are that passionate about it, then that would be success.
Yeah. Can you I know that before we got on, you had shared some of the accomplishments in 2024 with me. Can you share some of those accomplishments? Because they're
Abs-
exciting and we get to
Absolutely.
celebrate wins, right? We
I
should be celebrating them. Can you share them with the audience?
Thank you, Heidi. So yeah, our 2024 accomplishments were amazing. Our Aiming for Zero saved 8 lives in 2024. So out of 16 lives in a year and a half, we're really knocking it out of the park there. We had 1,200 vets plus received computers, 175 veterans in-house learned training from us. And we also give them access, all these vets, all these active duty, 5,000 free classes. We deployed 400 computers to community colleges across Virginia to veterans who were attending. And this year we're at 355 at this moment. That number is going to grow because we're going to come back and ask for more. Deployed computers to both Fort Belvoir and Fort Greg Adams here in Virginia. And we gave away over 100 computers, 135 computers. And we did a Tech 200 giveaway. So we were at Newport News, Virginia. And like, hey, if you're a veteran, active duty, just come get a computer from us for free for Christmas. And we literally had folks driving up saying, this is my first computer. You made my Christmas. And
Oh,
another guy, a Vietnam vet who had Agent Orange throat cancer. So he had one of the talkie things.
wow.
He's like, my wife and I drove here. It was an hour away and we thought it was a scam. We're glad it's not a scam. And I'm like, no, dude, we're not a scam, right?
Oh, that makes my heart happy.
I know, it was amazing. And then 2,000 hours of volunteer time. And we also won the governor of the Virginia Governor's Silver Environmental Excellence Award for doing what we do. So, I mean, we're being recognized as marketing. We talked about earlier, we don't have a large budget for marketing. So it's word of mouth, that
Yeah.
self-awareness of you, Heidi, going, hey, I talked to this guy today, to your friends. I'm like, hey, this guy was amazing. They're not talking about me. Tech for Troops is amazing. We need to do something and get them our computers.
Hmm. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Before we wrap up, I want to know who can send you computers? Is it just corporations? Can people send you their computers? Like, how do we donate and how do we support you?
Absolutely. So donating is easy. For corporations or individuals on the contact us on our webpage, you can just send an email and say how. Or an individual, easier for this, is we have what's called Give Back Box. So you can get a box. I believe it's 25 pounds worth of stuff. It could be 35, but it's a lot of stuff. You put it in a box, tape it up real well, please. Pat it real well, please. And then also put a note in there saying, hey, Tech for Troops, this is from Heidi Schalk. And I never find out where you're at, but I'm going to say San Antonio, Texas. And this is my address. And I want to send you a thank you note. But it's on our webpage. It's on the donation tab when you drop down and say Give Back Box. And we get that stuff in, not all the time, but enough to where it's worthy of us continuing it. And then corporations, just contact us, right? We'll come back and say, hey, if you're in Mississippi, if you're in California, we're shipping in stuff from Seattle, not all the time, but enough from some of the larger corporation tech companies in Seattle. So we'll get that stuff in and then we'll cycle through it and make it happen.
Perfect. So for you listening, if you have things that you want to donate, also if you want to
Mhm.
donate them money, they'll take that too. Funds are always available, are always welcome. It makes life so much easier.
It does.
Where they can just go out and purchase what they need to purchase for these veterans, and
Correct.
also use it to grow the mission.
Right.
Then please reach out to them. Reach out to Mark. Reach out.
Yep.
What's the website that they can go to or connect with you?
Techfortroops.org, techfortroops.org.
Perfect. Tech4troops.org. Make sure
Yep.
you go there, reach out, connect with Mark. If you have any questions, you can also reach out to us. We'll connect you, but literally go
Yep.
straight to them. Simplification is always the best. If you have some computers or
Yep.
anything that you want to donate, reach out to them. Make sure that they'll accept. I'm sure they will, but you can always learn more by contacting them, having a conversation. And nothing is too old, right? Because you will
Correct.
repurpose it, right? So just because they give the newer computers to the veterans doesn't mean they cannot use your old stuff that's just literally laying around. I have a
Correct.
computer upstairs that's it's like literally the computer and not the thing,
Yeah.
the monitor, but I have the computer. So I'll
Yeah.
connect with you once I get everything
Love
off of
it.
there and
Love
see
it.
if you need it. If you can use it, great. If not, okay.
Yep.
But definitely reach out. Don't think that anything's too old or not usable.
Agreed.
Get it out of your garage, get it out of your storage. You know, you all have it laying around. We all do. So make sure you reach out and connect because they deserve it. They've served our
Thank you.
country, they've served you, they put their life on the line, and now they get to have everything that they want to have in their life and be able to create everything they want to create in their lives with their careers. And they need these computers to make that happen. It's a non-negotiable in today's day and age, right?
100% agree with everything you just said. And if I could tell your audience real quick, look, even if you don't support Tech for Troops, right, near and dear to my heart, support a nonprofit, right? Whether it's dogs and cats or your local food bank or art, it doesn't make a difference. We all need the help. So do something good for someone else. That's what I ask.
I love that. That's so good.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely be giving back. That should be part of
Mhm.
your automatic.
Yep.
But definitely, reach out to them, see how you can support them, and get the word out. So if you're watching Mark and I on YouTube, then please leave them a comment below, ask
Yeah.
them questions. Also, share this with people that you know so they
Yeah.
can learn about Tech for Troops. This is an amazing cause. They have
Yeah.
an amazing mission. They're making big differences in the world, and we want to see them grow. So right now they're in Virginia. You said 400 computers, if I have that number right. We want to make that in Virginia. We want to make that 400 next year across the country. So let's
Oh,
expand this, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted, so it was 400 computers to community college vets,
Community
right?
college vets, right?
I've reached out to other states which would remain unnamed because they didn't respond back and say, yeah, let's do that. Right. So I want to be able to ship or send to other states and say, get me in touch with your veterans, your community college vets, the ones who are coming out of really usually rural areas and help them succeed and thrive in this world.
Yeah. So let's get the word out so we can support more veterans across the country as well with what they're providing for them.
Yeah.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, please spread the word, share the video with other people that you know in your space. If you subscribe, please subscribe. That helps us notify you when we have another more amazing guest on our show, just like Mark is here with you today, sharing his
Mhm.
wisdom
Yeah.
and his mission, so we can support others in growing as well. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, we're reaching out to you for funds. But reach out to Jeff Bezos, put a word out for Tech for Troops. Let's
Yeah.
make it happen, and get Amazon involved. But please leave us a 5-star review. We would greatly appreciate it. It helps us share our amazing guests like Mark to more people and get the word out on what they're creating in the world. So thank you, Mark, so much for your
I,
time today. Is there anything that you'd like to share that I didn't ask you or we didn't get to touch on before we wrap up?
Not really. You were amazing. Thank you for being a phenomenal host and having great questions. And if you want me back in a year so we can talk again, I'd love to do that with you.
Let's make a date. I would love
Let's
that
make it.
for sure. Because we're now going to share how much more you've gotten out there and then expand
Absolutely.
it from there. And hopefully by then we've gotten in touch with Jeff Bezos. Maybe he'll be on with us. That would be great.
That would be amazing.
Like that's we're putting it out in the universe, Mark, that Jeff
Let's do
Bezos
it.
is going to be on
Let's
this in
do
a
it.
year. Okay,
I
we're going to
love
make it
it.
happen. And if you're listening and you know him, send him our way. I did promise y'all a free gift. So for thanking you for joining us for today's episode of the Business Growth Spotlight, if you are looking to grow your visibility and your marketing and get in front of your ideal client, you've been trying, you're sharing your product or your service, and it's just not landing the way you want it to, then go grab our free Spotlight to Scale blueprint. You can go grab that at spotlighttoscale.com/blueprint. It's free. It's yours. Go to work, make it happen. And don't forget, go to techfortroops.org to learn
Yes.
more about how you can support this amazing cause. Mark, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us today. And we will see you on the next episode of the Business Growth Spotlights.